Oh my goodness, it's Thursday. And what better way to end your week than another edition of the 2-2 podcast. Listen, it's going to be a good one today. I'm excited. I'm elated. I'm energized. You think of any other words, that's how I feel. Today's going to be a great one. We're continuing the December series, Finish Strong, Strong Finish. And I don't want you to miss a minute of it. So you know the move. You know what I'm going to say next. Grab your friends. Grab your family. Grab your coworkers. Grab the people you don't like. Don't forget that notebook, iPad, and laptop. See you in a minute. Have you ever wanted to record a podcast but didn't know the way? Well, I've got good news. Let me tell you about something. It's called Anchor. And Anchor is the easiest way to record a podcast. Let me explain. It's absolutely free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. And it's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So here's what I need you to do. Please download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor FM to get started. Happy Thursday, y'all. Welcome to the 2-2 podcast. Listen, what I'm going to say goes without saying, but, you know, some things need to be repeated. This year has been a year that has been uncertain. This year has been a year that has caused a lot of us to question whether we should continue the work that we're doing. It's been tumultuous. It's been trying. It's been, you name it. It's been that type of year. You've heard me say this before. I'm going to say it until the end of the year. Because we need a reminder, in some cases, of the fact that what we've come out of and what we've been going through has really shaped the course of a lot of people's work ethic, a lot of people's drive, a lot of people's focus, a lot of people's stick-to-itiveness, if you will. This year alone has tested our patience. It's tested our what else to say but tested our patience. It's tested our faith. It's tested our emotions. It's played with our emotions at times, but and it's often caused us to think about giving up. But I want to let somebody know today that it's still your year. It's still your year. So the name of this episode, and the name of this talk is, It's Still My Year. As you know, we're continuing this month-long series going into the new year called Finish Strong, Strong Finish. And I wanted to end the year not with a recap, not with not with a recap. No shade to anybody that's doing a recap for this year. But I wanted to finish this year by encouraging somebody right now that is at their wits' end. They feel like giving up. They feel like quitting. They feel like, throwing in the towel, saying, forget it. What's the point? What's the purpose? Nothing's moving. There's no movement. It's all stagnant. It's just, everything seems like it's ruined. I'm here to let somebody know who is battling with themselves right now that it's still your year. And it is your year to finish strong and have a strong finish. And before I go any further, before I get into why it's still your year, I want to let those of you who are telling people that it is too late to accomplish or to start, to stop throwing shade at somebody else's race. You heard me say this is the very first episode, and I need to reiterate it. For those of you who are telling people that it is too late to run your race, it is too late to start, I'd rather hit the ground running now, so when I get into 2021, I don't have to get started. I'm already started. The engines are revved. We're ready to go. Things are set in place. They're being set to be set in motion going into the new year. I'm not going to go into the new year on a cold engine. Oh, no. It's still my year to accomplish and to start what I've set out to accomplish. And this year we've held back a lot. And based on the circumstances that we are in and we have been in, we've had to forcibly hold back on a lot of things. But that doesn't mean just because you held back a little bit that you're going to have to hold back forever. Now is the time, now is the moment to jump on it. And how do you jump on it? You jump on it with fire. You jump on it with focus. You jump on it with boldness. Not arrogance, but boldness and confidence. I know there's only 2 weeks left in this year. Somebody's going to tell, a lot of people are going to say, oh, you had 50 weeks to get this thing going. Like we're running the same race. There are some things that take time. And you have to understand that Rome wasn't built in a day. Disneyland wasn't built in 24 hours. Great things take time. And you have to go in with the confidence that no matter what anybody else has to say about the race that I'm running, I'm going to run this race that God has set out for me. So again, I want to let somebody know, as I constantly and consistently let myself know every day, I know there's 2 weeks left. I know you've been told it's too late. But it's still your year. Why is it still your year, you're asking? I'm glad you've asked that question, even if you didn't ask that question. How is it still my year? You don't know, Chris, you just don't know what I've been through this year. You don't know what I've lost this year. You don't know who I've lost this year. You don't know who's walked away from my life this year. You don't know who's wasted my time this year. You don't know the money that I've lost this year. Chris, you just don't know. How can you say it's still my year when you haven't walked in my shoes? You don't personally know what I'm going through at the moment right now that I've had to fight through. You don't know the hell that I've had to endure. I may not know the hell that you're personally going through, but I know how it feels to go through hell. This year has been hell. It's been complicated. The last year and a half has been complicated. We've been through the ringer in 2019 and it's been that type of year and some change, and we are hoping and we are praying and we are preparing and wishing that January 1st 2021 that we get a reprieve from everything that we have dealt with since 2019. We're hoping for a reprieve. We're tired of losing things. We're tired of losing people. We're tired of getting our time wasted. We're tired of the intolerance. We're tired of the negativity. We're tired of all this division. We want to see change happen. But in order for change to happen, change has to start with you. I know I'm getting off topic and off task and off subject, but I just got to let somebody know that change starts with you. It starts with changing your mindset and changing what you say. Bible says it says it like this: as a man thinketh, so is he. What you think has the ability to manifest into what you say. What are you thinking and what are you saying in these moments? What are you thinking and what are you saying in these last 2 weeks of this year? Because what you think and what you say will turn into what you do, and what you do in these last 2 weeks is going to either keep you at a place of stagnation going into 2021, or it will get you in a place where it started on January 1st, or here it is. It will get you to a place where you go, this is still my year. The year ain't up. As long as it says 2020, it's still my year to accomplish everything that I set out to accomplish of January 1st of this year. Before we knew about the pandemic, before we knew about the lockdowns, before we knew about mask mandates, before we knew about all this stuff going on. I'm here to set out, I'm here to accomplish everything that I set out to accomplish. I'm here to get it started. It's still my year. But again, I know what you're asking. You don't know what I've been through. There are some of us that have been through so much mental anguish. We don't think there's a way out. There's so many of us that have been through so much financial difficulty that we don't think there's a way out. There's so many of us. There's so many of us that have gone through issue after issue after issue after issue after issue. My husband ain't acting right. My wife ain't acting right. The kids ain't acting right. My family don't like me. My family just don't understand why I keep doing what I'm doing. They just don't understand. But yet, I keep going because this is still my year. Why is it still your year? Because there's still time left on the clock. And if you know anything about a sport, especially when a team is down by a few points, that you should never give up the intensity. You should never give up the fight. Whether you're up by a few or down by a few, whether you're trying to get the lead and win the game, or you're trying to extend the lead so there's no coming back for the opposing team. Some of us, and let me put it in these terms, some of us are 1 possession away, 2, 3 possessions away from doing something amazing. There's still time on the clock. But you have to be smart with your decisions. You have to be smart with smart with your thinking. You have to be smart with what you say. You have to be smart. Touch somebody, slap yourself if you need to, and say, it's time to get wise. It's time to get wise in these last 2 weeks. We got to be wise about our decisions in these last 2 weeks. We have to exhibit and exercise wisdom. Because you are 1 step away, 2 steps away, 3 steps away, 5 steps, 5 steps away from doing something great or not doing anything at all. You have to make the decision today to go, I am going to do whatever it takes. In a positive manner, of course. I'm going to do whatever it takes to win. In a climate that doesn't often produce victory, I'm going to win. Why am I going to win? Because it's still my year and there's still time left on the clock and there's still time to fight. I want to let somebody know that's looking at the scoreboard right now and going, how am I going to get out of this mess? It's going to take a little fight. I still got a little fight left in me. Those are more than lyrics of a song. I still got a lot of fight left in me. There's a fighter left in me. There's a fighter in me. And in the last 2 weeks of 2020, I'm about to let the world know that there's a lot of fight left in me. You thought I'd given up. You thought I quit. You thought I threw in the towel. You thought I said, forget it. It's still my year and I'm not quitting. Ain't no quitting me. All gas, no brakes. There ain't no quit in me. Slap yourself and say, there's no quit in me. I know you want to quit. But allow me to remind you of a song that I talked about often on this show. James Cleveland said, I just can't give up now. I've come too far from where I started from. Let me stop right there. I've come too far from where I started from. I've come too far from being stagnant. I've come too far from being sad. I've come too far from being depressed. I've come too far from being hurt and distraught. I've come too far from being destroyed. I've come too far from where I started from. And where I started from at the beginning of this year, and where I started from at the beginning of 2019, and where I started from for some of y'all at the beginning of 2015. And where some of you, let's go even further, where you started and where you came from. You've come too far to quit now. You've progressed too far to quit now. But let me add to this. It said with the chorus finishes like this. Nobody told me the road would be easy. Ain't no cheat codes to this. Road's not going to be easy. The going's going to get tough. You're going to get knocked down. But I want to know how you going to get up. I want to know, are you going to get up? Circumstances and situations knock us down. But are you going to get up? Or are you going to stare at the lights? What are you going to do? What are you going to do in these last 2 weeks? Are you going to get up and fight? Or are you just going to lay there and stare at the lights? It's up to you to make that decision. What are you going to do in this season? Aha! What are you going to do in this fourth quarter of the fourth quarter? What are you going to do? Because in this moment right now, you are faced with a decision. To stay where you are or keep pushing forward. Forgetting what's behind me and moving forward. I press toward the mark. I press forward. I have decided that in these last 2 weeks of 2020, that is still my year, and I can't give up now. I've come too far from where I've started. Nobody told me the road would be easy. I can't quit now. I don't believe I've been brought this far to be left right here. Oh, no. No, I don't believe I've been brought this far. God has not brought me this far from all that I went through and all that I put myself through and all that I put people through and all the stuff that I had to fight through to leave me broken, despondent, depressed, distressed, conquered by fear, defeated. I don't believe, and I don't believe that he's brought me this far to be in this place of stagnation. So I want to ask you a question. What are you willing to change? What are you willing to do? What will it take for you to start? What will it take for you to say that it's still my year and I still got work to do? What will it take for you to continue to fight? It's going to take a mindset change. It's going to take some change in your vocabulary, some change in your speech. But most of all, it's going to take a change in your actions, in your habits, and in your character. Is it in my character to say it is still my year? I know we had resolutions at the beginning of this year. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to go here, and I'm going to write this. I know we had resolutions at the beginning of this year, and a lot of our resolutions didn't even make it past January 2nd. I understand. And this is no shade, because allow me to be transparent. I was one of the same people that said I was going to do this and I was going to do this and I was going to go here and I was going to travel here and I was going to date and I was going to get in a committed relationship. All of this stuff. I said all of this stuff in January. But have the tables turned. We have been flipped upside down. We've had to alter and call audibles every day of the week. We've had to change the play before the play started. But is it in my character to speak life in a lifeless situation? Is it in my character to speak life to a lifeless situation? Is it in my character to think life? Does what I do reflect what I say and what I think in the fourth quarter of this fourth quarter? So I'm challenging you as we go into this weekend to change what you think and what you say and what you do and what you do consistently and what's in your character to do and say and do and think and do consistently. Your destiny is at stake. Your dreams are at stake. This is no longer the time to think negatively. It's time to say, this is still my year. It's still time on the clock. I'm going to go accomplish what I need to accomplish. I'm going back to school. I got time. Today, I got time. So what are you going to do to continue to make it your year? Hey, listen, thank you for joining the show today. Don't forget to follow the show page and my personal page. The show page is 22_podcast. That is 22_podcast on Instagram. And my personal page at AlexJ_live. That is AlexJ_live. Please don't forget the 22 podcast has merch. That's on 22apparel.threadless.com. That is 22apparel.threadless.com. See you soon.